Separating all the mice from the men, breaking it down from beginning to the end. Got their finger on the pulse of every trend. They see inside leak when they looking through the lens. Come on.
Morning.
Yes,
Good
sir.
morning.
It is a beautiful day to be a basketball fan. Wow.
It's always beautiful day to be
Wow.
See, the thing is, it's always a beautiful day to be a basketball fan for me because I'm just in love with the game. I don't know why it's such a beautiful day all of a sudden to be a basketball fan. But I guess that just shows you that you just probably don't love the game as much as I thought you did.
I guess one of the greatest, the greatest player
that shows me
has like.
That shows me that
were you
just,
alive during that time? No. Was I alive during that time? No. Well, son, I got a lot of good insight during that. I got a lot of good insight from that doc.
Yeah, that shows me that you're just
great to be
obsessed. It just shows me that you're so obsessed with one man that it's starting to cloud your judgment. That's why it's such a beautiful day in basketball.
Me?
But it's always a beautiful day in basketball for me.
What about
you're speaking?
Yeah, you the one that's obsessed with LeBron James being the greatest of all time.
I'm not obsessed with him.
Yes,
I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with a few things. I'm obsessed with greatness. I'm obsessed with people who's not selfish while being great. And I'm obsessed with perfection. That's what I'm obsessed with. Nothing
and that's Micheal Jordan right there.
Nothing
ding. No, you spelled out Micheal Jordan. That's what you spelled out. Ding.
Yeah. But Michael Jordan's not selfish, right? He's not selfish at all. I'm gonna start soft because I don't have time for the politicking.
I wouldn't call bringing along your teammates to win a couple of championships selfish. I wouldn't call that selfish.
No, he is a selfish dude. So I want to get a few points across. So it's like in the documentary he put stuff in and people in that he wanted to put in. To me, this was more of a production than it was a documentary because Horace Grant was left out
right from the page.
He was a big part of it. I mean, is that not true? I'm just going by what a production and a documentary means. Is that not true? Because a production is stuff that you want to put in and you control everything. A documentary is exactly how stuff happened, and you can't take out certain stuff because it's a documentary, right or wrong. If you're gonna bring up a certain point, then you got to explain it further. If you're not gonna bring up a certain point, you can't bring it up at all. He would bring up a point and then he wouldn't explain it further. So is that a documentary or is that a production? And I already know the answer you're gonna give me because clearly you're not too wise lately. So I'm not surprised at what you're gonna give me. I'm just gonna ask you, is that a documentary?
Do you know when you're doing a documentary that it's probably 99% of the chance there's gonna be bias in the documentary? Because you have to give a documentary from a point of view, right?
But did you listen to me? I said if you're gonna bring up a point, Horace Grant was in a documentary. Why hasn't Horace Grant had a sit down like the rest of the players that were brought up specifically?
Have a sit down.
He was part of the documentary.
No. He was in there. He's explained his point. When Jordan said it was your fault, Horace came on right after and explained why it wasn't him. He told his story.
On social media, Horace Grant gave his point and he said that this documentary was biased. I'm just going by the man himself.
That's really not a good point because a lot of documentaries are biased. You can't. A lot of times you cannot make a documentary without being biased.
No, but you're missing my point here. My point is that was that wrong? Because clearly there's some missing patches in this document. Actually, there's not a few. There's a lot. So clearly, if Horace Grant, like y'all said, he had signed the same documentary, but then after he's still complaining and saying this and that and that. What's going on, Mike? You play with the
Jordan
side.
Doesn't like him. He's in his bag. Jordan does not like him. He's in his bag.
Also, just because you don't like somebody, that means you should ward it down and make stuff seem like it's not. Listen, I
No, that means that
understand
the
that you're
person who
when you
had a
see the difference
chance
between
to
me.
speak up will say stuff about you
It's
because they are in their bag, because they're hurt that you don't like them.
I
That's
mean
exactly what Horace Grant is doing.
clearly
Deep down
I mean
inside,
I
he
mean
feels some
clearly
type of way that Michael Jordan, one of his
wait
favorite
time out.
teammates, does not like him.
Why? But you're not answering my question. Why not? But it's just you fail to realize. As a man growing up, where you gotta learn how to let go of certain stuff, and this is just why on all levels, LeBron James will always and forever will be a better basketball player, a better man, a better advocate, a better everything than Michael Jordan, and that's just a fact. It's just so hard for you to see that. It's hard, and it's hard for you to see too, Creamer, and it's sad. I'm just digging
All
deep right
right.
now because it's time to. It's time. This is far more than just basketball, and just like the other sports analysts are talking about, they're just some of them are just hitting the surface. But I'm gonna go deep. This is bad, and that's my first point. This wasn't a documentary. This was mainly a production.
And I guarantee you, people who study documentaries will debunk that whole argument.
Mm-hmm.
They'll debunk it.
Clearly,
And
you
I had a
can,
class on
and clearly,
documentaries, so I'm telling you, you can't make a documentary without being biased.
and my point is that if Horace Grant was on the documentary, as we saw, and then after he's going after and saying that, oh, it was biased.
I just
Clearly,
told you why
something was wrong.
I just told you why he's lamenting those points.
All right.
I just told you he's hurt.
And, so Michael Jordan's not hurt either. Clearly, he's holding some grudge. So Michael Jordan's not.
I know.
Okay,
Michael
then.
Jordan's
Okay.
I know he's hurt.
I just have to ask. I had to ask. Oh, because I was like, you're going crazy. I just have to make sure.
I mean, Jordan does.
Or you have to give that next one.
Hold on. Jordan does own. He owns the video. You know what I'm saying? He owns. I think that's why I heard someplace. So he owns the raw, video.
Footage.
So
Yeah.
footage. Yeah. So obviously he was the one to greenlight everything to get done. What Steven's point is to it is like, obviously the focus was Jordan. Jordan was the main focus, and he's the one that's gonna. It's not the Horace Grant documentary. It's the Michael Jordan. It's really Michael Jordan's story. You know what I mean? But hold on, let me finish. But so there's always, you could say there's a little bias towards Jordan. Obviously, he's the one that's driving this while we watch. We're not watching because of Horace Grant, but because of all this, we can expect to probably see some other things come out. Horace Grant probably is going to tell his side. Maybe Scottie will do his own documentary. Everybody else probably do their own little thing so we can get more. And then from there, you take all those different things and you get the bigger picture. That's why I was saying before, watching the Bad Boy documentary, you get another picture of the Jordan rules and how they treated Jordan and how Isaiah Thomas thought. It gives you a bigger, broader picture. And then you can put the two together and then come to your own conclusion on what really probably went down. You know what I mean? But it's what's going on right now, and the reason we have no sports, it's a good thing to have out, even though it might not be fully totally accurate, because obviously everything could be edited. Because I'm an editor, I know you could chop something and you could tell a narrative the way you want to tell the narrative. So it's some points I can agree with you on Talik, but at the end of the day, this gives opportunity for all these other guys to do their own documentaries, tell their pictures.
All right. So
did you
before we move on,
before you go, all right, go ahead.
Before we move on and we give our point of views on our documentary, I'm just gonna say, imagine I do a Thru TheLenz documentary, and I let's say I do a Thru TheLenz documentary. But I'm the one that's like bringing the camera people together, the director and all that. And I go to your house and I go to Steve's house. And I'm like, all right, we're doing a documentary, but you can only say this part. Clearly it's not a documentary. It's a production. Clearly. What's the whole point of me?
You think that's what he did?
Can I finish? What is the whole point of Michael Jordan going to Horace Grant if Horace Grant can say what he exactly wants if this documentary is supposed to be raw and uncut? You want to snitch about what you saw your your first year in the league and all this. So why can't Horace Grant be raw and about what's going on? Let's keep it
He
real,
said
right?
what he wanted to say. He said what he wanted to say.
He didn't clearly not because he went on social media. Like I said, he was on somebody's podcast or something, and then he said he basically saying there's more to be said. So what?
He is butt hurt.
All right, so is Michael Jordan. It's
All
what, 20 years,
what more
25
do you
years?
have to say? All he said,
I'm just saying.
I wasn't the one to leak the story. What else do you have to say, bro?
It's a bigger agenda to what I'm going to. That I see a problem. I don't like to go for the first kill. All right, I just like to slowly just build down. You heard?
But the thing is, everything that is out right now, you know what I'm saying? You're multimedia people, you know what I'm saying? Like, you realize there's always a narrative, there's always ways stories are cut to drive in a point, you know what I mean? So, like I said, this is going to give opportunity to Horace Grant to tell his side of the story. There's going to be whether it's through social media, he makes a book, he does his own, documentary. He's going to tell his side of the story, and then we're going to hear his side of the story, because there's probably a lot of sides of the story coming out of this. Scottie Pippen's probably going to do something down the line, to paint the picture a little differently, and this is the end. Look, a lot of what I did too. After I watched the documentary, I watched SportsCenter the next morning. You get more of the picture. You get more of what was really going on. Even SVP, he gave a lot more of the picture afterwards. Like, even he had Bob Costas on the other night, and how they was just telling stories. And here's one good story he told about Isaiah Thomas, because Isaiah Thomas was actually doing color analyst for the last season that Jordan played, or last season he played with the Bulls. And one thing he said about Isaiah Thomas never said anything bad about Michael Jordan that whole season. He was very fair, whether in private or public. Well, let me finish.
He's a real man.
But in public or private, with the production meetings, he always kept it 100 and kept Michael Jordan fair. And even when I saw the All-Star game, because they replayed the All-Star game from '98 with Kobe and them, he was an analyst, and he kept it fair and kept it 100 about Jordan. So, like I said, everybody's gonna have their opportunity to give their side to the story. You know what I mean? But that's what I'm saying. And then the thing is, you gotta kind of watch everything to get the whole sides of the whole story. You know what I mean? So,
how'd you but what did you think about him saying the Pacers was the hardest team besides the Pistons he had to face?
As soon as he said that out of his mouth, I said, the Knicks. You was the battle. You're like, okay, you forgot about the Knicks and some of the battles that you went through with the Knicks. Like, you went through some real battles. You know what I'm saying? Like, they kept you on the defense, and he even said that in that part of the documentary. I think he just forgot.
It's probably. I feel like one of the reasons why he also said that is because I feel like the thing that the Knicks was missing was obviously Reggie Miller's not a killer like Michael Jordan, but Reggie Miller was a killer. He's not scared at the moment either, and like Patrick Ewing's not scared, but I'm talking about like somebody that could be like, yo, Patrick Ewing was clearly a superstar, but when it's time, Reggie Miller's taking that shot. Towards the end of the game, the Knicks never.
Oh, you talking about like a perimeter guy?
Yeah,
perimeter.
like yo, I could ISO, or I could do a catch and shoot off a screen, something, and shoot it like that. They never really had that. They never really had that guy. And we saw in the clip when Reggie Miller hit that last shot on Michael Jordan, who would do now the Knicks, if we're being honest. Yeah, Patrick used to catch it off the post and work, but no, y'all understand what I'm trying to say. So I feel like that's one of the pieces that they were missing. They were a well-rounded team, but they never had.
Yeah, that's why I think a lot of their focus was defense. I think that was a genius of Pat Riley with that team. He knew to get the best out of that team, it had to be a defensive type of team, because he was John Stark. John Stark's my boy. He was a streaky shooter. But I think the Pacers, they only played the Pacers one time in the playoffs during their whole run. So I think for him to make that statement, I'm like, son, you play the Knicks every season. You know what I'm saying? Like, that wouldn't even make sense. Like, the Knicks gave you work. The Knicks were up 2-0 on you a few times. You know what I'm saying? So to say like, you know what I'm saying, they took you 6-7 games. That didn't make any sense to me. You know what I mean? So, but I can see what he said. The Pacers that year, they Reggie Miller was always the killer. You know what I'm saying? Always had that shot. I know firsthand. You know what this man's done. You know what I mean? So, but he never got a chip though. So, oh well.
That's true. So what are y'all final takes away from the last dance? What's your
Could not
final
wait
ultimate take?
to get this question. Couldn't wait.
Take a slash at it because you need it, because you just been babbling. Please, just looking at sad.
You know, Kobe, LeBron, Jordan, Shaq, Kareem, Malone, all the greats, right? What's one thing they have in common?
What's your point, brother?
They leave it all on the line. Especially Jordan and Kobe and LeBron. If you want to be the best at what you do, you have to put in the time. The time has to be put in. More time
brother,
than any.
What's your point?
This is my point. This is what I want to say. There's no bigger thing here. This is the time has to be put in, and during that time, people will suffer. Your family won't have as much time as they want to have with you. Your kids won't have as much time as they want to have with you. But the question is being great, is being the best at what you want to do more important than spending time with your family, spending valuable time with your family, going on vacation, doing all the extracurricular stuff that regular stars in the league do? Is it more important being the best than all three of those things?
I mean, I'm not really a family guy. I'm no family, but speaking for people that I grew up around, especially being around from Kareem since I was a kid, I feel like, of course, sometimes you're not gonna have the time for your family, but I feel like sometimes you have to put your your passion to the side because still in all, just like Kobe said, Kobe been playing basketball since he was 8 years, and of course, sometimes the family. Some nights I'm not going. I'm coming late. Some nights you're not going to see me. Of course, it's the grind, but we saw how happy Kobe was after basketball, and I feel like with your family, it's so important because after basketball, it's like that's who you're gonna be around. And for example, Mike Tyson, he's been retired, and he said it to this day that like he's found a little bit of better peace, but he found it to this day that he's basically saying that like I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm not comfortable without boxing. I don't know what to do. And I don't know if you saw that he's trying to come out of retirement. And you see how these guys are like Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan seems like he's loving retirement because he found family, he found a wife, all this stuff. It's. I feel like speaking. I don't have a kid yet, but speaking from people looking from the outside, it's a little. It's hard to balance. But I feel like at the end of the day, you gotta make sure, of course, your family is financially secured, but the relationship with your family at the end of the day, I think that's more important.
I think in this sense, LeBron's doing it right. You can see how he's bringing his kids up. Obviously, he started his family younger, but you know he's at his kids' game. His kids are very in the limelight. You know they're doing TikTok videos. You never saw Jordan's kids like we had social media back then, but even now, like I couldn't. It'd be hard. Like I know their names now. I forgot he had two twin little girls. You know what I'm saying? With his new wife. You know, but with Jordan, you know, with LeBron, excuse me, you know, you see his kids, his little girl, you know, they're out front, they're doing stuff. He's already, once he finished basketball, he already has a whole life prepared for post basketball that with a multimedia company that he has, and he can still do basketball. I can see him coaching because he has that in him because with sons and stuff like that. So um, yeah, so it's definitely it's a balance. You know what I mean? I think Kobe, obviously Kobe did everything he needed to do for basketball. There at the end, now he's doing things with his kids. Um, but I think players have grown to try to balance both both sides. Family along with being a professional athlete. But I think I think if you want to be the best, and you have to. Not to say LeBron doesn't do that. I think he definitely puts the work in to try to be the best. But there's something about Jordan and what he did at the time he did it that's all that meant for him. You know what I mean? Like he wanted to be the best. I think the biggest thing that I take away from this documentary is that what it proves. I think you said this too, Talik, is that you always heard the hype behind Jordan. But then you look at the thing and you can say, oh, snap, I see why the hype. Because Jordan was not just great, he was also a showman with it. You know what I'm saying? The going up one hand and coming around with the other hand. And he was just so smooth. Everything was so calculated and so smooth. And like, you know what I mean? Like, and to me, Kobe was the closest to him in the sense of like the same type of body and stuff like that. But Kobe had to work for it. Kobe had the showmanship like Jordan had it. And LeBron has just some showmanship, but not like not like Kobe, not like Jordan. I mean, and that's why like when LeBron made that statement this week that he could play with Jordan. You know what I mean? Because I think LeBron's actually a better Scottie Pippen. You know what I mean? That's why. Yeah, so that's why like I see he could play with Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Because he's more like a Magic, Scottie Pippen type of player. You know what I mean? But the thing that Jordan always brought, and I haven't saw this from any other player yet, is just the ability to control all of it. You know what I mean? Have the great sneakers and have the biggest brand, and then just be so nice and smooth and polished. You know what I'm saying? With it, he won 6 championships, no losses. That's polished. You sure he went for a 7? You know what I mean? He could win for a 7. But I think the idea of everything just being polished and neat and wrapped up, outside of the Washington Wizards years, I think that plays into this character and his narrative and his I think Bob Coster said it best. Sometimes you hear these Paul Bunyan. You ever heard this the terminology Paul Bunyan tales, where it's like these people are larger than life, like Babe Ruth. Oh, Babe Ruth, he pointed to left field and he's going to hit the home run. That's a story. We don't have actual video of it. They have pictures to say that he did it, but Jordan actually did these things. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna close my eyes and shoot. Boom. I'm gonna call my shot. I got it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do this in the shrugs. We actually see it, and we have video of it, which is crazy. So that's the biggest thing I take away from this documentary, and I think that's the thing people are waiting for to see when people say the next Michael Jordan. Are they trying to see who's the best player in the league and who has the best branding and best everything else around them? LeBron is close, but it's been a bumpy ride for him, but he's been the closest so far, in my opinion.
I think everything was set up for Jordan in both aspects. To be best received as the most captivated and the best player in the league, because Magic Bird grew the game to a point where people's interest started to draw in more and more. And nobody's ever really had the ability to take their brand and turn it into what Jordan took it into. So I feel like everything was placed right into Jordan's hands that allowed him to be the best. That's a lot of times that's what has to happen. There has to be, to win a championship, to a lot of things in life, you have to be put in the best situation. And I think Jordan was in the best situation to be the best, as on the floor and off the floor.
My final take on the documentary, as a sports analyst, I'm not a biased man, unlike the other two people I'm dealing with, sadly, for the rest of my life. I'm not a biased guy. And Michael Jordan, watch the documentary. One, he's still not better than LeBron. That's one. That's one thing I'm going to say. But what I did take away from this documentary is Michael Jordan. I, I gotta say it's a proper way because I gotta try to twist up my words, and I don't want to know, and I don't want this is gonna be on the record. Michael Jordan. All right, LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan, but Michael Jordan is greater than LeBron. That's what I'm saying. He's greater than LeBron for now. For now, he's just greater, and you can be greater than somebody, and the person can still be better than you. He's just greater. 6-0, being down 2-1 and still never going to a game 7 in the finals, averaging 37 in a season, 10 scoring titles. I can't look past it.
Defensive all team,
I'm trying to look past it, but I
defensive player of the
can't.
year.
And people still lining up for his sneakers in the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? People still lining up for this dude's sneakers, and this dude's been retired since 2002.
Scottie Pippen was on and off game 6 of the finals. He was tired. But the reason why it's I say Kobe's not better than Mike, the only person who's on Mike level or is better is LeBron James, is because the stuff that I seen in the documentary, I seen LeBron James do that since I was a kid. I seen LeBron play 48 minutes and score 40 something and take his team to the W. It's just that the reason why y'all are not so fond of LeBron is because he's just not a selfish, oh, give me this like Mike player. He's not. And that's just not who LeBron ever will be. Yes, it worked out for Mike, of course, because that's 6 championships, no losses, no game 7s. Come on, that's ridiculous. But LeBron is never, since he was a kid, 5 years old, all I'm saying was he was never that type of guy. So it's going to be hard to change somebody who was never that type of guy. And that's why people say Kobe is so close then. But the thing is, the only reason why I say LeBron is better is because LeBron could cultivate into so many other different players. Mike was a one person was a one person player. I scored 40 and I could guard my man. LeBron, the only reason why I say it is because LeBron could change into so many players. He could become a Mike. He could become a Magic Johnson. He could become a Kobe. He could become a power forward. He could switch into so many other players and still be good at it. That's just my point.
No. The reason why I can't put LeBron over Jordan is just straight just championships. If he won if he was dominating in if he won the championships, not even dominating, just won them, then the conversation is different. That's number one.
So question for y'all. So and look,
and the other point is this, and because he hasn't done that, he's given room to the argument, even today's basketball, who's the best basketball player in the game today. So the argument now is like, oh, KD is the best basketball player in the game, or homeboy from Milwaukee is the best basketball player in the game. During Jordan's era, there was no conversation about that because he stamped it down like, oh, I want a chip. You can't say that. Okay, you won MVP this year? Okay, Charles Barkley, good. I won the chip.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
because
and there was no, and like so any best player in the game that he played against, he beat them and said, look, I beat you. You won the regular season stuff. That's cool. I won the chip. You know, and that's the thing. Like in today's era, like LeBron has left room for other people to cement, say, I'm the best now, and they won championships. Which, so when you look back at this time this era, it's going to look at, oh, LeBron, KD, Steph. You know what I mean? You're going to put that in that ranking, and then you can have arguments. And then in 20 years from now, you're going to be arguing about who was the best player of this era. And you're going to be like LeBron. But then people are going to be like, well, KD won 2.
But, yeah, but it's so all right. I'm gonna make this quick. It's so different because yes, Michael Jordan really demolished every single argument about who's better and stuff like that. But the skill in this game, Kareem, is so amazing. It's so abstract and it's so different that it's so hard to stop other players from winning a championship. If Mike was playing it in this day, he would never went 6. He would never went 6-0, and I promise you, he would never went 6-0. I don't see him beating the Lakers. Like let's say he faces Lakers back to back. I'm not saying Mike ain't gonna beat them. He's gonna beat them because he's that dude. He could do that. But there's no way you're going 2-0 against Kobe and Shaq. I don't see it happening. I don't know if y'all see it happening, but I don't. I just can't.
I mean, he played
But
against
overall,
Penny. He played against Penny and Shaq. You know what I mean? And they were young.
Yeah, but
they beat him the first time.
But Penny and Shaq were young, and Penny was just coming into the league. Penny was in 2002 and 2001 is when Kobe really started becoming that dude. But still in all, the documentary was beautiful, and I loved it. And
I just need a little bit more clarity on that statement, bro. You can't just leave the people with
what
Bron is better and MJ is great.
I gave my
Politics.
point of view. Why, bro? I literally just gave my point of view. It's not. I just
That's
gave
a
my
political
reason
statement.
why.
Political.
If it's not. If LeBron went 6-0 and Jordan was 6-0, we would be saying LeBron is better than we'll be saying that LeBron is better than Mike. But that's why numbers in basketball cannot be and will not be everything, because it can be. Because what David Robinson has 7 rings. So what he better than KD? Hell no. David Robinson put up good numbers? No. Numbers can't be everything. What's his name has Bill Russell has 12 rings. He's better than Michael Jordan. Are you sick? Not even on Michael Jordan's 2 broken legs. No. It's just numbers is not everything. I said the reason why is because LeBron could cultivate into so many players, and we've never seen that before. KD just started developing into a two-way player. LeBron been a two-way player. LeBron been all that. But like I said, still in all, this documentary was great, but LeBron is still the GOAT, and that's just that. Best to ever do it.
They polled on Twitter.
Best to do it.
They polled on Twitter
to ever do
about
it.
600 people, 18 to 35, 35 plus. Jordan still came out on top.
Of course, because these people, listen, I break down the game, I study the game. Those people on Twitter are just talking about, they don't know what they're doing on there.
All right.
That's just
Jordan's
what it
the
is.
GOAT. Jordan's the GOAT.
But I enjoy doing this.
Here it is right here. You see it?
I see it.
Best basketball, best sneaker for fashion, better sneaker to ball in. Like he dominated every category.
Of course they're gonna say that because this generation is just so caught up that they don't realize what's going on. If people admit LeBron will be better than Mike, it's gonna be a revolution. It's gonna be a revolution. That's why they just don't want to do it. It's gonna be a revolution, man. So I understand why they don't want to do it. It's gonna be a revolution. That's gonna be like World War III. So you know what? They just for the sake of the world, for the sake of y'all old heads, and for the sake, cause clearly this dude is old. Clearly him too. So for the sake of all the old heads and all the young children who love Michael Jordan, we're just gonna save this from themselves and not start World War III. And then LeBron is better than Mike.
All right, fellas, it's time to go through the lens. See y'all next week.
You know that.
Separating all the mice from the men, breaking it down from beginning to the end. Got their finger on the pulse of every trend. They see inside league when they looking through the lens.